Ever feel like you're just on autopilot? Here's a thought. What if the one thing we all avoid is the only thing that gives us back the controls? You see it scroll by on your phone every day. People lounging on beaches, businesses that supposedly run themselves, six-pack abs that just appeared. It all looks like one big, effortless, sun-drenched party. We're told to follow our passion, find our bliss, manifest our dreams. It sounds amazing. Just click a button, buy the course, find the one simple hack, and boom, instant success. Instant control. Instant freedom. But let's be real for a second. If you're anything like me, you've probably noticed that life doesn't quite work that way. We follow the easy path, we look for the shortcuts, and we end up, well, kind of feeling stuck. We're waiting for that big wave of motivation to hit us. That perfect thunderbolt moment when the clouds part and we suddenly want to do all the hard things. But someday keeps getting pushed back. Later slowly becomes never. And that big easy party, we're still waiting for the invitation. And here's the funny part. The thing holding us back is often the very thing we're chasing. Comfort. We love the comfort zone. And why wouldn't we? It's comfortable. It's warm. It's safe. It's predictable. It's that feeling of hitting the snooze button for the third time. It's scrolling on the couch instead of going for that walk you promised yourself. It's saying yes to the easy, familiar thing because it's easy. There's nothing wrong with comfort. We all need it. But there's a secret about the comfort zone that nobody really talks about. It's a bit of a trap. It's the easy choice right now that quietly makes life harder later on. That one more episode turns into a whole evening gone. That I'll start tomorrow turns into a year of feeling exactly the same. The easy path, the one that avoids any effort or resistance, it doesn't actually lead to freedom. It just leads to more of the same. We think we're being free by avoiding structure, by going with the flow. But what happens? We just get swept along by the current. We end up becoming a slave to our worst habits, to our impulses, to that little voice that always wants the quickest, easiest fix. We end up on autopilot. And when you're on autopilot, you're not the one flying the plane. What if real freedom isn't about avoiding effort, but about directing it? What if that feeling of being in control, of actually living the life we want, isn't found in the easy breezy shortcut, but in something else? What if the hack we're all looking for isn't a hack at all? It's not about a massive, life-changing explosion. It's not about becoming a drill sergeant overnight. It's something much quieter. It's the small, simple choice made over and over again. We've all been told to chase the dream. But maybe the dream doesn't like being chased. Maybe it likes being built brick by brick, and it all starts by politely showing that myth of the easy life the door. It starts by understanding that comfort is nice, but it's not the goal. The goal is something better. And to get there, we have to start by rethinking a word we all kind of hate. So let's talk about it, the D word. Discipline. Just saying it sounds heavy, doesn't it? When we hear the word discipline, our minds jump straight to not having fun. We picture a drill sergeant yelling in our face. We think of ice-cold showers at 4 a.m., giving up everything we enjoy, and eating nothing but plain, steamed broccoli. It sounds like restriction. It sounds like punishment. And honestly, it sounds like the absolute total opposite of freedom. For most of my life, I thought freedom meant no discipline. Freedom was, I do what I want when I want. Freedom was living by my impulses. Freedom was only acting when I felt motivated. If I didn't feel like it, I wasn't going to do it. Simple. But this is where we get it twisted. What if discipline isn't the cage? What if it's the key to the cage? We've been sold a bad definition. It's time for a rebrand. Let's try this. Discipline is just you, today, doing a small favor for you tomorrow. That's it. It's not about a massive, painful, joyless overhaul of your entire life. It's not about hating yourself or punishing yourself for being human. It's actually a form of self-respect. It's packing your gym bag the night before, so the you in the morning, who is sleepy and grumpy and definitely not a morning person, has one less excuse. It's setting a timer for 15 minutes to start that project you've been avoiding, not promising to finish the whole thing in one night. It's putting your phone across the room an hour before bed so you can actually get the rest you know you're desperate for. See? It's not about grand, heroic acts of willpower. It's about a small, kind, intentional choice. Here's the problem with living only by how you feel. When you're only guided by your moods, guess who's really in charge? Your random cravings are in charge. Your momentary laziness is in charge. That algorithm designed to keep you scrolling is in charge. The part of your brain that always wants the easiest, fastest, most comfortable option, that's what's in charge. And that doesn't feel like freedom. That feels like being a puppet. Real control, real freedom, is when you get to decide. Discipline is simply the tool that lets you do that. It's the rudder on the boat. Without it, you're not free. You're just adrift. You're just getting pushed around by whatever current, whatever feeling happens to float by. Discipline is the act of gently, or sometimes not so gently, taking the wheel back. It's the quiet moment of negotiation with yourself. Your brain says, ugh, let's just stay on the couch. And you say, I hear you. I really do. But we're just going to go for a 10-minute walk. We can come right back to the couch after. That negotiation, that is discipline. It's not about waiting for the feeling. It's about acting despite the feeling. It's not about being perfect. It's about practicing. It's a muscle. And you don't build a muscle by trying to lift a car on day one. You start small. You just show up. Okay, so we're starting to see discipline as a tool, right? Not a punishment. But here's the thing. A tool is only useful if you know how to use it. It's one thing to talk about building that muscle and another thing to actually practice it. If you're thinking, this sounds great, but how do I start tomorrow? I made something for you. My new guide, 30 Days to a Better You, isn't a list of harsh rules. It's a simple day-by-day plan to help you gently build that consistency. It's the how-to for everything we're talking about. The link is right in the description. All right, now let's talk about the simplest way to start. So we've decided that discipline isn't a scary monster. It's just a tool. It's the rudder on our boat. But here's the next big hurdle, isn't it? The doing part. We all know that feeling. That moment in the morning when the alarm goes off. That moment in the evening when we're tired. That moment when the choice is between the hard thing we said we'd do and the easy thing that's right in front of us. And we tell ourselves, I'm just not motivated. We treat motivation like this magical, mystical force. We wait for it to strike us like lightning. We think we can't possibly start until we feel like starting. Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Motivation is a terrible employee. It's unreliable. It shows up late. It calls in sick on the most important days. It never wants to do the boring stuff. And for some reason, it loves to disappear right when you need it most. If you build your life around waiting for motivation, you're going to be doing a lot of waiting. So what's the alternative? It's just showing up. That's it. It's so simple it almost sounds stupid, but it's the most powerful thing in the world. Showing up means we stop making such a big deal out of everything. We lower the bar. We think, I have to go to the gym and do an intense 1-hour workout. And that feels huge, so we don't go. What if instead the goal was just to put on your workout clothes, or just to walk into the gym, or just to do 5 push-ups? The goal isn't the workout. The goal is becoming the person who doesn't miss workouts. It's not about I have to write 3,000 words today. It's I have to open the document and write 1 sentence. The magic isn't in the intensity of the action. It's in the consistency of it. This is where we get it all wrong. We go all in. We try to change everything at once. We're super intense for 3 days. And then we're completely burned out, lying on the floor, surrounded by broccoli and self-help books, wondering what went wrong. The all-or-nothing mindset is a trap. The real power is in the something. A 10-minute walk is infinitely better than the 0-minute run you didn't take. Reading 5 pages is infinitely better than the 0 pages you read while feeling guilty about not reading the whole chapter. Showing up, even badly, is always better than not showing up at all. Because something amazing happens when you just show up. You start to build a new kind of trust. Think about it. How much do you trust a friend who always cancels at the last minute? Not much, right? Well, we do that to ourselves all the time. We promise ourselves, tomorrow, I'm getting up early. And when the alarm rings, we hit snooze and say, never mind. We're teaching our brains that our words don't mean anything, that our goals are optional. When you show up, when you put on the shoes, when you write the 1 sentence, when you get out of bed, you are casting a vote. You're sending a tiny, powerful signal back to your own brain that says, I am a person who keeps their promises to themselves. That's it. That's how you build self-confidence. Not by telling yourself you're awesome, but by showing yourself you're reliable. It's not glamorous. It's not a movie montage. It's just the quiet, simple, boring as heck act of showing up. Today. And then tomorrow. And then the day after that. And soon that tiny little habit, that little snowball you started, Well, it starts to get its own momentum. So we're showing up. We're doing the small thing. We're casting that tiny vote for ourselves. But let's be honest. Even when we decide to show up, there's still that other voice, isn't there? It's that default programming, that autopilot. The autopilot is the part of you that's been running the show for a long time. Its main job? To seek comfort, avoid pain, and save energy. It's the reason you can drive home from work and have no memory of the journey. It's the reason your hand reaches for your phone without you even thinking about it. And it's the part of you that, when faced with a choice, will always vote for the couch. It's not bad. It's just efficient. It's trying to protect you. The problem is, the autopilot's definition of safe is stuck. It wants everything to stay exactly the same forever. And for a long time, we just let it fly the plane. We're in the back, maybe asleep, or just watching whatever movie is playing. We're passengers in our own lives. Now, we've decided we want to change. We want to take the wheel. But here's the image we get wrong. We think this has to be a violent hijacking. We think we have to burst into the cockpit screaming and throw the pilot out the window. That's the all or nothing trap again. And it never works. You can't fight your own brain and win. You'll just end up exhausted. So let's try a different approach. You're not hijacking the plane. You're just walking up to the cockpit, opening the door, and taking the co-pilot seat. The autopilot is still there. He's still flying. And you just tap him on the shoulder and say, "Hey, thanks for handling things. I'm going to take it for a bit." This is the moment. This is the real work. Your autopilot is going to freak out. It'll say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you sure? That looks hard. There's turbulence ahead. The couch is way back there, and it's really comfortable." And your job as the co-pilot isn't to yell at it. Your job is just to be calm, steady, and keep your hands on the wheel. Your job is to negotiate. The autopilot says, "Let's skip the walk. It's cold." The co-pilot says, "You're right. It is cold, but we're just going to go for 5 minutes. We'll put on a good podcast. It'll be fine." The autopilot says, "We're way too tired to do that project. Let's just scroll." The co-pilot says, "I hear you. We are tired. So we're not going to finish the project. We're just going to open the file. We'll just look at it for 2 minutes." This is what taking the wheel actually feels like. It's not a dramatic movie hero moment. It's a quiet, internal, second-by-second negotiation. It's a partnership, not a dictatorship. It's you, your conscious self, deciding to be an active participant in your own life. At first, it feels weird. You're clumsy. The autopilot keeps trying to grab the wheel back. "See, I told you. This is hard. Let's go back to scrolling." But every time you make that small, conscious choice, every time you show up, every time you honor that little promise to yourself, your autopilot learns. It starts to see, "Oh, okay, we did the hard thing and we didn't die. Actually, that kind of felt good." Slowly, the autopilot stops fighting you. It starts to work with you. The new, harder path just becomes the new default. The new, better habit becomes the new autopilot. You're not just being dragged along by your day anymore. You're not a passenger. You're at the controls. You're not controlling everything. You can't control the weather or the turbulence, but you can control the direction. And you start to realize this discipline thing. It doesn't feel like a cage at all. It feels like flying. So we've arrived at the final piece, the big punchline. And it's a total paradox. The one thing we've been running from, the one thing we thought was the enemy of freedom, is actually the only thing that creates it. Structure, discipline. For so long, we've all believed that freedom is the absence of structure. It's an open field with no fences. It's a day with no plans. It's doing whatever I feel like, whenever I feel like it. But what does that life actually feel like? Let's be honest. It's not really freedom. It's just chaos. It's the anxiety of waking up and not knowing where to start. It's the guilt that hangs over you at the end of the day when you felt like scrolling for 5 hours instead of doing that one thing you genuinely care about. It's the frustration of having the same goals year after year and never getting any closer. That no rules life, it's not freedom. It's just a smaller, more reactive, more stressful cage. You're a slave to every random impulse, every notification, every shiny object that floats by. Now, think about a river with no banks. It's not really a river, is it? It's just a swamp. It's wide, it's shallow, and it doesn't go anywhere. It just sits. But the banks are the structure. The banks are the discipline. And what do? They give the water direction. They give it power. They give it speed. The banks don't trap the water. They are the very thing that sets it free to be a powerful, moving river. That is what discipline does for you. When you create a simple, gentle structure, you stop being a swamp. You start to flow. And here's the most beautiful part. When you have a system for the important things, you stop having to think about them. Think about all the energy you waste debating with yourself. Should I get up? Should I go to the gym? What should I eat? Should I start that project now or later? It's exhausting. That's all your mental energy, your willpower, just draining away on the same 3 questions every single day. When you have a discipline, when you just decide in advance, all that debate is gone. You don't wake up and decide if you're going to brush your teeth. You just do it. It's on autopilot. What if you did that with the other things that matter? When the alarm goes off, you just get up. The decision is already made. When it's 5 p.m., you just go for your walk. The decision is already made. And all of that energy you used to spend on internal debates and feeling guilty, it's free. It's now free to be spent on the real stuff, on solving interesting problems, on being creative, on being 100% present with the people you love instead of half thinking about what you should be doing. That is freedom. Discipline in your finances, a budget, isn't a cage. It's the only path to freedom from debt and a life of real choices. Discipline in your health. That 10-minute walk, that extra glass of water, isn't punishment. It's the freedom to live with energy, to say yes to life. Discipline in your work, showing up for those 15 minutes, isn't a drag. It's the freedom to build a skill, to create something real, to have options. We've had it backward this whole time. Comfort wasn't the goal. Excuses weren't the answer. The D word isn't a restriction. It is, quite simply, the ultimate act of self-respect. It's the tool you use to take the wheel. It's the banks you build to give your life power. It's the simple, daily practice of doing a favor for the you of tomorrow. Discipline is just the blueprint for the life you actually want to live. It's not about being perfect. It's not about being a robot. It's just about starting. It's about taking the co-pilot seat. It's about choosing, in this one small moment, to be the architect. The big paradox is that the only way to be truly wildly free is to choose your own structure.